Coping with Tre Tailor, giving you info and advice to help you thrive and survive in life. Because we'll always be coping with something. Coping. Thank you again so much for joining us for Coping with Tre Tailor. Today, we are coping with the Columbia Chamber of Commerce. Karen Jenkins joins us, the longtime entrepreneur and CEO of KRJ Consulting, had served on the Chamber of Commerce Executive Committee since 2019, and the board of directors recently named Karen chair-elect of the Columbia Chamber of Commerce. Karen Jenkins, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations.
Thank you for having me, Trey, and thank you so much.
Absolutely. What does the appointment to chair the Columbia Chamber of Commerce mean to you?
So it's very humbling to serve in this capacity as I guess I'm the fifth female since 1902, the fifth female to serve, the second African American, and the first African American female. So with that becomes a lot of just, how do I say this? I don't want to call it expectation, but there's a certain level of responsibility that comes with that role.
Right.
As I've shared with people, I am here as a result of the work and efforts of so many African Americans and African American females and females prior to me. And as such, I am here to work and to serve, but to also leave the door open and bring others through with me to hopefully set the stage so that other people that look like me, that have the same gender as I do, will have the opportunity to provide their level of service. And that's exactly what it is. It's not a level of prestige. It's a prestigious position, don't get me wrong. But the reason that I'm here is because I came to the chamber to serve and to help my community, not looking for anything for myself. And as a result of that, I have been blessed to serve in this capacity.
Tell me about the duties and responsibilities that you will have as chair.
So I will say, because the organization as a nonprofit supporting businesses in our community has been around so long, the establishment is there. We have a great leader in our organization that kind of has set the stage. And from a leadership perspective, chairing the board really is more of a let's continue down this path. So there's not a lot of growing or newness to it. It's kind of keeping the ship righted and being prepared in the event that there are things that may happen. For example, nobody anticipated that COVID would happen.
Right.
Nobody anticipated that it would last as long as it did. So there aren't any current issues that we're facing right now, but if in the event that we are, in collaboration with the leadership there, in collaboration with the board, we will tackle those issues as they come.
Karen Jenkins is the new chair of the Columbia Chamber of Commerce. She's an entrepreneur that has, through KRJ Consulting, has used her 3 decades of experience to provide organizational development and innovative learning to businesses and nonprofits of all types and sizes. We're coping today with her appointment as a new chair of the Columbia Chamber of Commerce. For those people who may not know, Karen, what does the Commerce do and provide?
So a couple of avenues. Most people know the chamber as a place for advocacy, legislative advocacy. So any issues or concerns that may impact businesses large and small, the chamber collectively listens to its members and understands the issues that we face, and will meet with and lobby with or for our legislative bodies. But, that's the legislative part. The other part is to support our businesses in their growth and to meet them where they are. So networking, which most people don't do, or most people don't take advantage of.
And some people don't even know how to do it.
But that is very true. That is very true. So taking advantage of the opportunity to be with other members that will know you, that you can connect with, that you can bond and figure out a way to collaborate afterwards to provide services back and forth. The chamber also provides services around, for at least the small business community. There's a small business and they bring in agency, and they bring in other people to enlighten the membership, to kind of provide additional information and knowledge to help them grow. So they also help you advertise. So as a member, you get to advertise on their site. So if a member is looking for a particular service, you put your information out there. They also spotlight members. Again, you can't really pay for that marketing, right? Or you could pay for it, but it'll be pretty expensive. So there are a couple of things. And then the other thing is, if you have an issue and you're not quite sure how to handle it or what to do, you can go to your chamber and say, I have this issue. And because of the huge database that they have, there's probably going to be somebody within that membership that can assist you in some way or another. And if it's not within, because they also have tentacles and networks throughout the community, they could point you in different directions within our community for support.
So who is the Commerce for, do you think? Who would benefit from the Commerce's extensive services?
The chamber, I would say me, I'm a small business, but there are also large businesses that are members. So if you're a small business, we can't function within a silo. And I'll share this story with you as far as my first time dealing with the chamber and my second, because I had two different approaches, and the first one wasn't so successful. The second one, you can see the fruits of my labor here. So the first time I joined, I had another company called Integrated Financial Services, and we were a mortgage company. We were new in 2007. So one of the first things I did as a new company was join the chamber. So it was wonderful. We were so excited. We got a nice little plaque. We hung it on the wall. They had events that we attended sporadically. They had breakfasts. They had other events that we went to sporadically. And then by the time we knew it, 365 days had passed, and then the second invoice for membership came around. And it was like, well, what did we get out of that?
Right.
Other than going to the breakfast and getting a discount, nothing. So we didn't renew. So fast forward, I have my new company now. I'm learning, I'm maturing. And I had a friend, Ron Harvey, who he and I kind of got in the business, at least the federal side of the business, about the same time. And I sat back and watched him. And he did something very different. He joined, but he got to work. He got busy. And it wasn't really about who he knew. It was about who knew him.
Right.
So before long, he became the president or the head or chair of the Small Business Committee, and was able to network with not only small businesses, but large businesses, and was able to do business with a lot of those businesses. So, and it wasn't even just that. There were certain things that he needed that the chamber was able to provide him a resource for, or give him direction and guidance. So, he and I are friends, and we talk all the time. And I was like, okay, so how can I handle this? What can I do? I said, okay, well, let me give this a try. Let me try it a new way. So I decided to join, and I joined, but I joined and I started going to different events. And then I said, well, going to different events is fine, and meeting people is fine, but I need to go a little further. So I called and met with Carl Blackstone, the president, because I wanted to find out from him what was his vision for the chamber, what direction were they going in, what did they need, and then how could I serve? How could I support? And that went really well. And it was nice to hear and learn more about the chamber and get information that I didn't have before. Learn ways for me to connect that I didn't know the first time.
Right.
So I did. So then before long, I was invited to serve on the board of directors, and then got appointed to the executive board of directors. Well, again, now you continue to ask the question, how can I serve? So I was asked to chair a new program that they started called the Midlands Minority Business Accelerator, which is a program for women and veterans and minority-owned businesses to help them create the foundation to be able to grow and scale their business. So it's not for new businesses, it's for businesses that have been around, that have employees and that kind of thing. But most businesses kind of get stuck in that middle section and they don't grow. I was blessed to go through the program back in 2018 through the Small Business Administration's Emerging Leader Program, but I had to drive to Charlotte twice a month. And I mean, running a business, very challenging to get away and commit to that
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
But you do what you have to do. And I had rallied for the SBA to bring it to Columbia. They eventually brought it to South Carolina, but it went to Charleston. So again, our market had not been touched. So when I found out that the chambers, Greenville, Charleston, and Columbia had received a grant from Bank of America to launch this program, I was very excited. Greenville has done the program for 10 years. Charleston and Columbia were new. So when they asked me to chair the committee, I was like ecstatic because I knew what that program would do for the individual businesses that were chosen to participate, because I'm still reeling and benefiting from the program that I went through and the growth plan that I drafted as a result of that program I use today and will continue to use through the rest of the time of my company.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about that Minority Business Accelerator. Henry Baskins was on the show several weeks ago and she mentioned it, but I want to ask you some questions as someone who actually participated. But before we do that, Karen, I do want to ask you, so there is a membership fee, but once you, from your experience, and I'm sure you may have had an experience like other people, okay, I joined, I didn't get anything out of it. What do you suggest businesses do to really, again, engage, become involved, and be able to take advantage of all of the services that the Columbia Chamber of Commerce provides?
Well, and I'll tell you from first example I gave to the second is that you get into that organization, and really any organization you think about. So this is not just a chamber thing. This is any trade association that you join, any membership organization that you join. You will get out of that organization and that membership what you put into it.
Right.
If you're joining to have your name on a roster, then you've accomplished your task, and that's what you get out of it, right? My name is on a roster. But if you're joining to learn and to grow and to connect, then that's what you're going to get out of it. And the way that you do that is, for example, if you're in a trade association or you're part of the chamber, they have events, they have committees. Sign up for a committee. Right? You're going to meet people and learn and get into the integral parts of that organization. As part of when they host events, volunteer to support that. Be the person at the front door signing people in. Why? Because people see you and they will begin to know you. Because in this world, it's not who you know, it's who knows you.
You're right. Yeah.
And my lesson was not only who you know and who knows you, it's who knows you and who know you and who knows what you do and what you
do. Yes.
Because my challenge for the last however many years has been people to this very day still think I'm a financial consultant because I did the segment with Judy Gatson called Women, Wisdom, and Wealth. Right. I didn't do that. I wasn't a financial consultant. I did that. That was my altruistic give back to the community, back to the serving my silver ring, as Dr. Lynn says. So I still have to make sure that I empower people by giving them the information about me and what it is that I do, so that when they're out in their network and they're with their people, then somebody might say, hey, well, Trey, I'm doing this, or I have some leadership challenges with my team, or we have some challenges with our culture, or we need some staffing to help us, if you're government, with some IT or some writer developers or something like that, and your light bulb will go off and go, oh well, yeah, Karen does that.
Right.
You might want to reach out to her. So if you're looking for us, we're shifting. We do federal contracting. So I have to speak one language with them. But in the non-federal side, we do organization development and human capacity building so that people understand self-leadership. People understand how to create their own future based on their actions, not dependent solely on someone else. Leadership development for those supervisors that are new to leadership and don't understand the tricks of the trade because they did this task well, but now you're managing people and those two skill sets don't align. So again, just making sure that you're getting out there, that you're participating. And, you and I talked briefly about this earlier, and it's that networking is a word that people hear, but they don't necessarily know how to do.
Yeah.
I do some training for the Department of Transportation 3 or 4 times a year. And one of the sessions that I actually developed with them for them was networking 101, how to do it. And it is not taking 50 business cards and walking in and giving them out to everybody in the room. It's not standing next to the food or the drink aisle and just kind of, being there watching everybody. It's not being a wallflower. It is very strategic. It is identifying maybe 2 to 3 people that you want to connect with, and it needs to be a connection that would be of benefit to you and to them.
Right. And them. And that's to do and to them. Yeah.
And to them. And then having a strategy of follow-up, because that was just the introduction.
Yeah.
Now you have to build a relationship. So networking is the net, the casting of the net. And now that you've made the connection, how do you reel it in? How do you build a relationship? And I always come from a place of servant leadership.
Yeah.
How can I help you? And I tell people all the time, when I help people, I'm not helping people because I want something from that person. I'm helping people because I genuinely want to help them. And I promise you, Tre, that my blessings have come tenfold, but it never came from the person that I helped.
Right.
Well, I won't say never, because some people bless you, but my intention was never to help them for them to do something for me. Right. My intention was to help. But then when I helped that person and that person, something, a tsunami of love, a tsunami.
Yes, your karma,
of everything just comes at me from a whole different angle that I never anticipated and never saw coming. So, having that mindset and not having the expectation that somebody's going to give me something back. I have earned everything that I've gotten. Nobody's is never been a gimme for me, but the universe has definitely blessed me because I think that I have paid that silver rent.
And that happens. We are magnets. I believe that we attract what we give out. And you are so right. It may or may not necessarily come from the person that we're giving to, but the universe will always make it right for you.
It will. And I love the fact that because you're our basis of our organization right now is synergy leadership, and it's around energy. And it is around the fact that you attract what you put out. But here's the thing, what most people don't understand, when you're putting out that negative energy, right, you're going to get more of that negative energy.
You are.
When you are worried about 500 bills, because that has its energy, you're going to get 500 more bills. When you are out there spewing venom and doing whatever, you can spew it all you want to, right? And it's not going to come to you from the persons or people that you're spewing the venom to.
That's right.
It's going to come at you a different way.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to be, I'm very cognizant of the energy that I carry into the room.
Yes, girl, me too.
And I tell people, I don't have the book in front of me. Or maybe I do. Hold on, let me check. Let me see. This, we might be in look. Bam. What does that say?
I can't see that, girl.
It says you are responsible for the energy you bring into the room. So this is our mantra.
True.
This is our mantra. And I think if everybody took ownership for their energy and took it from a sense of, if you can't be happy, don't be mad. At least be neutral, right? Be neutral. Because I would rather have neutral energy coming at me any day than any negative.
And if you angry, don't go out here trying to ruin everybody else.
No, don't make it bad for everybody else. And now some people are unconsciously doing that. You're in that bad mood because whatever happened and you stumped your toe, the tire went bad or whatever, or somebody made you mad, and then you walk into a whole nother room and try to make them mad too. And unintentionally, it's just the energy you bring, because energy is contagious.
It is.
Energy is contagious. So if you come in with negative energy and the room is kind of neutral, they're going to kind of follow your lead. So be careful of what you carry in there.
Girl, that's so true. I'm going to tell you this, and it's a little bit to what you were saying, but yes and no. But I used to have an old boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend used to tell me all the time, when we argued, he said, "You're putting that energy on me, and now I've got to do something with it." He said, "Now I have it and you've gotten it out for you. You all good." But I got that negative energy you have spewed, you know. And then when the other person then reciprocates, you wonder, well, what's wrong with you?
Hello.
Because you done got it off of you.
Right.
So, I mean, I hear what you say. I learned that. So, but let's not want that.
That is a great lesson to have.
Yeah. You just get it. You get it because, like you said, I mean, we were talking this before we got on the air about some things that are going on in my life, and yes, it can bring you anxiety and sadness and concern, but you know what? You can't, you just look for me. I just pick up my devotional or go in my secret place, which may be the bathroom or wherever, just pray, just whatever you got to do. Look, take a drink, whatever it is you got to
Right.
do.
Yes,
Work
yes.
out, eat a piece of red velvet cake
Something to get it off, and
to get it off of you.
you know my story. You know my story of
Yes,
my son,
yes,
and my
yes,
father prior to that, and I very well could have, when the doctors gave us the
yes,
news that he had a 10 to 15% chance of living, and he was in ICU and tubes hooked all on. I could have very well taken the sad, mad,
yes,
down,
yes.
depressed.
Why me?
Why
Why?
me?
Yeah,
I could not waste my energy and time
right.
doing that. I was in the midst of the storm. So I had to take the stance that I knew that my child was going to walk out of that hospital, and
Yes,
I
amen.
had to send that energy, and I
Yes,
had to focus on that healing effort. And I had to make sure that, and yes, things crept into my head, but I had to stop it at the door and say, look, we're not going there. Okay.
right.
We're not even giving this as an option. I know what Doc said, but the Lord gets the last call.
Aaron, that's
And
so
I
good.
truly believe in my heart of hearts, and I know it with every ounce of my fiber, that it was that mindset, and it was our positive prayers and what I'm calling energy prayers that we
Yeah,
sent out to my child in that hospital, that he is now a senior at the University of South Carolina, about to graduate in a year.
unbelievable.
So, it is, I have lived the energy model. I
Yeah,
have breathed the energy model. I know that it works. And I know that we are the commanders of our own ships. And if we allow external factors to dictate our energy and our mindset, we're going to go bonkers, and we're going to attract more of that negative
more
stuff
than
that's
negative.
happening. I
Yeah,
mean, you have to live your life and as though the sun is shining, regardless of what the weather is
that's
outside.
right. That's right.
Right? It might be raining, but that's liquid sunshine, and you have to say thank you, Lord, for the liquid sunshine.
Yeah,
Because the
Asha.
challenges that we face, Trey, make us who we are today.
That's
Right?
right. It
Yeah.
makes us stronger, wiser, more resilient,
It makes, yes, it
so that
makes
we
us
can
who we
move
are.
through the rest of our lives.
Right, right. And if you think about it, some of the most successful people in life um, have had some of the most horrendous journeys.
Yes.
But those journeys, and not that they wanted those things to happen to them, but what they were able to do was they were able to turn the event around and use it as a stepping stone, rather than having the event be a stone covering them.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Karen Jenkins is the first African American female to chair the Columbia Chamber of Commerce. If you just joined us, please hit the rewind button, because Karen has been sharing some great gems, just life lesson, business gems, and of course, some stuff about the Columbia Chamber of Commerce. Which, speaking of which, when we come back, we're going to find out what Karen's vision is for the Columbia Chamber of Commerce under her chair, and also she mentioned a little bit about that Minority Business Accelerator program. We're going to find out more about that and how you, as a small business person, can benefit from it. That's coming up next on Coping. Karen, we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Computers, they're a part of our everyday lives. But when they're not working, they're an everyday problem. So call Computers Unique, your everyday solution. 803-351-5821. Is your computer running slow? Won't turn on? Do you need a screen replaced? Or maybe you just need another computer? Well, Computers Unique is your one-stop shop for all your computer needs. They have a wide variety of new and pre-owned PCs, Macs, and tablets. So call Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall. 803-351-5821. 803-351-5821.
Hi, I'm Master Deputy Addie Perez with the Richland County Sheriff's Department Community Action Team. As a mother, I know it's important to take care of my health for those I care about. Part of doing that is knowing my risk for developing type 2 diabetes. So if I was you, I'll take the opportunity to visit inittogethersc.org and take an online test to find out if you have prediabetes. Again, the website is inittogethersc.org. This message is brought to you by the Diabetes Action Council of South Carolina.
I'm Tre Tailor. Thank you so much for joining us for Coping with Tre Tailor. We are streaming live on the Tailor Made production page on Facebook. Please go over there, hit like and share and follow and find out when we go live every Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday from In It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council, and also on Thursday and Friday. We're also streaming live on our YouTube channel. Please go over there and hit the subscribe button. I tell you, we've got 3 years of content, interviews, information to help you thrive and survive with whatever you may be coping with. That's what we're all about here. We also have a presence on Instagram and also on Twitter. Today, we are coping with the Columbia Chamber of Commerce. Karen Jenkins joins us. She is the first African-American female to chair the Columbia Chamber of Commerce. She's an award-winning entrepreneur and small business owner who, again, is serving as the first African-American female to chair the Columbia Chamber of Commerce. Karen, what would you like to change, implement, see as the chair? I mean, you've been with the chamber as a member. You've been with the chamber as a board member. So you've seen the chamber from some different vantage points.
Yes. So, as I shared earlier, the chamber as it stands is a very well-oiled machine. It is a great asset to our business community and to our community as a whole. One of the first things that I think is important is to look at our level of diversity, which of course they have proven, right, that they're willing to and open to that level of diversity. And I think there's opportunities for more diversity. I think there's opportunity to have more businesses come in and join that are not the typical type of business. And I think we've seen our minority participation or minority membership grow significantly over the last year. I think there's opportunities for us to do more with women-owned businesses. Mm-hmm. I think there's an opportunity for us to tap those entities to ensure that the programming that we have in place is meeting the specific needs of all businesses, not just large or not just small. When you look at the community, I think that the chamber serves as a huge piece of our overall community. When you look at state, local governments, when you look at other partnerships and other local chambers, I think there's an opportunity, even with school districts, because at the end of the day, the chamber is here to ensure that our community is growing and thriving. And in order for us to grow and thrive, we have to be not a perfect place, but a good place to work, play, and live.
Right.
Well, when you look at Columbia, we have challenges, right? But I think one of the things that we've done in the past is we've had challenges, but we've had different silos and different groups trying to come up with solutions for those challenges.
Yeah.
Well, I would love to see us come together and work on those as a unit and not necessarily within silos. And I think with the leadership that we have in place from, again, school districts, state and local government, when you look at the city, you look at the county, you even look at our legislators, I think we have a nice group of talent that has open eyes and open perspective for identifying the needs of our community. And the challenge is that we have to recognize that the needs of our community today is not the same needs that we had prior to COVID. We have a whole new thing. We don't even know what to call it, right? But the impact of COVID to our overall community has not even been totally defined yet.
Right.
We're still unraveling some things. So I think making sure that we stay and keep a pulse on our community in general, and specifically a pulse on the needs of our small business or our small and large business community will ensure that the chamber continues to be a viable resource for our community as a whole. So I think being that conduit or being part of a bigger whole to support our community in general, I think is going to be a huge strategy that we will continue to employ.
You talked a little bit about the minority business program, accelerator program. That's already started, right?
Yes, I am pleased to say we started in January of this year. We have 8 members in our cohort. We are the only state and the only city that did not lose a member in our cohort. So that was just a phenomenal job that Henry Vasquez and Lynn Hutto and Carl Blackstone and that entire team. It was a result of all of their efforts. And the program also is a concerted effort of, we have coaches from the community, we have mentors from the community that have volunteered to pour their time and effort into this cohort. So our cohort will be graduating on December the 7th. And we've already closed our applications for
the next cohort.
Our next cohort. And on December the 7th at the graduation, we'll be announcing the list of our new cohort that will start in January. So we're excited about this program because this program gives businesses the opportunity to grow and scale. Growing and scaling means not only am I getting more revenue, but I'm creating more jobs. And when I'm creating more jobs, I'm positively impacting not only families, but I'm impacting the community in which they live. So we're really excited about this program and all that it's going to do for the businesses that participate and for the community at large.
All right, Karen Jenkins is the new and first African-American female to chair the Columbia Chamber of Commerce. You can see her information on the screen. If you want more information about the Columbia Chamber of Commerce, of course, you can go to their website. As Karen said, there are so many services that are available for businesses of all sizes. You just need to call, log on to the website, and also inquire about the memberships. And there are different types of memberships, correct, Karen?
Yes, the revenues are, the memberships are based on revenues. So of course, the larger, multi-member companies don't pay the same thing that a small business might do. But you can apply or go on to the website or reach out to our chamber office for more information on the membership.
All right, Karen Jenkins, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations again so much for your appointment as the first African-American female to chair the Columbia Chamber of Commerce. We appreciate you, and again, congratulations.
Thank you, Trey, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Computers, they're a part of our everyday life. But when they're not working, they're an everyday problem. So call Computers Unique, your everyday solution. 803-351-5821. Is your computer running slow? Won't turn on? Do you need a screen replaced? Or maybe you just need another computer? Well, Computers Unique is your one-stop shop for all your computer needs. They have a wide variety of new and pre-owned PCs, Macs, and tablets. So call Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall. 803-351-5821. 803-351-5821.
Thank you so much for joining us for Coping with Tre Tailor. If you have a product or service that could help someone cope with COVID, please email copingwithtreitailor@gmail.com. We would love for you to be a proud sponsor, just like In It Together SD and the Diabetes Action Council. They sponsor Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday here on Coping with COVID. Javis Tax Services, Palmetto Media Connections, the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office, Attorney Byron Gibson, Agape Counseling and Training Services, Black Pages, Black Expo, the Comet Bus System, and Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall. We also would love for you to be a guest on the show. If you have a story or initiative that could help someone cope with COVID, please email booking@copingwithtreitailor.com. Booking@copingwithtreitailor.com. That information is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. We would love to feature you on the show because we're always coping with something. As always, we leave you with a great devotional. I'm reading back again from Jesus Calling. This says, when things seem to be going all wrong, stop and affirm your trust in me. Calmly bring these matters to me and leave them in my capable hands. Leave them there. Then simply do the next thing. Stay in touch with me through thankful, trusting prayers, resting in my sovereign control. Rejoice in me. Exult in the God of your salvation. As you trust in me, I make your feet like the feet of a deer. I enable you to walk, to make progress upon your high places of trouble, suffering, or responsibility. When things are going wrong, remember what is right. Jesus, he can do it for you. Thank you guys so much for joining us today for Coping with Tre Tailor. Until the next time, I wish you peace and abundant blessings. Take care, stay well, God bless. And if you're going to be out and about with large crowds, especially inside, don't forget to wear your mask. over your nose and under your chin. I'll see you soon.
Coping, find peace of mind to survive through whatever. Coping, learning the way that we thrive all together. Coping, finding out what's real. Coping, we can heal, we can heal, we can heal. Coping with stress, coping with strife, bringing hope for success, for improving our life. Coping beyond hoping to do more than survive, ways to live a healthy life. Coping and promoting learning what you can do, 6 ways to a better you.